They are business leaders, experts in economy, society, and culture. In 15 minutes, their insights will create a vivid picture of Vietnam. Sharing Vietnam, the country as you see it.
Visions of a Nomad, tạm dịch là góc nhìn của một người du mục, là một ban nhạc nổi tiếng của Úc. Âm nhạc của nhóm ưa chuộng sự gắn kết nghệ thuật và âm nhạc quần chúng, bao gồm tất cả các thể loại và chịu ảnh hưởng của âm nhạc thế giới. Năm 1990, Michael Cumming thành lập nhóm và tìm kiếm cách gắn kết giữa truyền thống và hiện đại để tạo nên một thể loại mới. Phần trình diễn luôn được đánh giá cao của nhóm là các tiết mục với nhạc cụ didgeridoo của thổ dân Úc. Nhạc cụ với âm thanh khỏe khoắn và gợi nhiều liên tưởng. Hello, and you are watching Sharing Vietnam on NetViet VTC10 during the Australian Cultural and Education Week from February the 17th to the 25th. A series of events were organized by the Australian Embassy in Hanoi, including a lot of concerts by a famous Australian band. The name is Vision of a Nomad, and here they are with us as the guests of Sharing Vietnam. So let's say hello to them. Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time and joining our show today.
Welcome. It's a pleasure.
We don't have only one people here, so why don't we have the introduction about the band, starting from you, for example.
Okay, my name is Michael Cumming. I'm the composer in the band, and I play some different instruments, keyboard, guitar, didgeridoo, sing, harmonicas.
My name is Silvana, and I'm originally from Holland, but I've been living in Australia for a long time, and we've been playing music together for a long time. And in the band I play the drum kit, and I sing at the same time.
What about you?
My name is Juan Salvador. I'm the newest member in the band. Been playing with it for about 4 months now. I'm the guitarist in the band. In Australia I'm an audio and visual technician, so I tend to at times help with setting up the sound as well.
So is this your the first trip of the band to Vietnam and performs in Vietnam too?
It is actually, yes. It's our first time to Vietnam, and we're loving it. We've had such a fantastic time here, and the audience has been so receptive and kind and genuine. Really loving it.
So can you share with us more about two performances that you play in Hanoi on the 23rd and the 24th of February?
Well, we played at two of the universities, and they had big audiences. And people were very enthusiastic, and I believe they liked the music. And they're all fascinated about the didgeridoo and how Michael can play and how multiple instruments at the same time. And I also think they genuinely love the fact that I'm a female drummer, which is a nice message from me to all the girls and women in Vietnam, that you're able to do and try anything in life. And that you shouldn't be scared to try new things and just have a go. And also feel they genuinely loved Juan's playing. It's a very excited. His style is very exciting and kind of rock, like a rock star kind of style. So they really related to that as well. I think they had a nice mixture of things in what we presented.
In our own country. We have the Aboriginal people, and of course the didgeridoo is the instrument of this, and one of the reasons we like to mix this instrument is because we love that culture, and it's a very mysterious culture, very spiritual culture, and it's interesting to see how the Vietnamese people react to this instrument and this mixture of styles in the music. And I think it maybe highlights the value of some of the culture in Vietnam, some of the ethnic minorities and the differences. And I guess it's an important message to our music to promote cultural harmony, you know.
Now, I don't expect you're going to get this straight away. The instrument sound never stopped.
In this band, you have a big combination between the instrument belong to the traditional one and the modern one. So can you share with us and introduce with the TV viewer more about those instruments?
One of the main instruments we use in the group is the didgeridoo from Australia. It's the traditional instrument of the Aboriginal people from the north of Australia. It's the trunk of the tree, and in the wet season the ants, they eat up the middle of the tree because the wood is softer, so it hollows out it's just a hollow pipe.
So would you love to play a little bit?
Sure.
Immediately? It's really make a really good sound, more than I can imagine. Thank you so much for that sharing. And from the story of this instrument that you apply during your playing music, we would like to mention about the Vietnamese one, because Vietnam have different kind of traditional instrument, even from the people in the country and even on the many different part of Vietnam. But how can we keep and is the solution for applying this kind of traditional one with the new one in order to preserve it? What do you think about this?
I believe that is one way to preserve a culture and to get people actually interacting and interested in their culture and wanting to be part of it. I believe that, yes, I do.
I also think it's the nature of music to have no boundaries. I mean, when people talk of traditional culture, even traditional culture changes over time. I mean, for example, if you look at African traditional rhythms, say from West Africa, I mean, there'll be rhythms like Congolese, which actually comes from the other side of Africa, and I think it's a natural progression of music and musicians to break boundaries, to evolve, and I think this is really the nature of culture and tradition as well.
This is the very first time I listen to jazz. It's a very brand new kind of jazz, music to me. However, I think all my heart and all my soul likes this music so much. and I think the band plays so great, and I feel so excited about them.
The instrument is Aboriginal, so it's very hard to play. In my first or second attempt, I couldn't get it because you were supposed to make a sound with a horse, and that's really hard. But I gradually got it, but I can't make it consistent. So overall, you know, the instrument kind of fits with the vision of the Nomad, their theme about nature and modern music.
So even some Vietnamese people that bring this kind of traditional instrument from Vietnam and play in Australia. So have you ever heard about them?
I don't know if I've ever seen traditional Vietnamese music in Australia. I've been very interested to walk around and see the music shops here, and there are some really fascinating instruments, and we were really impressed the other night to go to the Water Puppet Theatre, and they had a beautiful little traditional orchestra there playing the music, and it was absolutely beautiful. The singing was beautiful, and the mastery of the instruments was fantastic.
So what will be your wish for the national traditional music of Vietnam?
That it get more exposure around the world, that people understand more about the Vietnamese culture.
And that the young people embrace it and keep it alive.
Yeah, realize the value of their own culture.
So you will stay here for a couple of days more. So what will be your plan to discover more about Vietnam?
There's a lot to discover. I find we've been here for almost a week and a half or 2 weeks. I just think there's so much to see and do. You don't need to rush around. For me, ideally, I would need a lot of time to totally explore this country.
Before the end of the show, would you love to talk something directly to the TV viewer of our channel?
In this world, we tend to have this hype about what's good and what's not good, and somehow it makes the world very generic, very homogenized, like we all have to think the same. The things that impress me in life are things that are different, people who have individuality or their own flair, their own style, and to come to a place like Vietnam where they really have their own style, and whether it be the music or the culture or the clothes or the history, I think it's really cool for the people to accept their own uniqueness, and for the rest of the world to accept their uniqueness too and embrace it. I certainly have. I really enjoy coming here, and I wish to come back again. It's a very important thing for the young people of Vietnam to understand that it's very important to value your culture and your history and the environment, and usually the culture and the history has some connection to the environment. So, you know, if we don't look after our nature, we will lose it, and it will be a very sad day.
The Vietnamese people, all the people I've met here are so wonderful and warm and friendly. Just stay that way and keep dreaming and living your lives and sharing with each other as you do. Very inspiring to me.
VisionsofAnomad.com. Please come and say hello.
Send us an email.
Yes, send us an email.
Thank you so much once again for those sharing, and we hope to welcome back you in a short time in Vietnam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your watching today, and if you have any question or recommendation, please contact at sharingvietnam@gmail.com. We will see you next time.
Xin được cảm ơn các thành viên của ban nhạc Vision of a Nomad và biên tập viên Minh Ngân. Còn bây giờ xin mời quý vị cùng quay trở lại với biên tập viên Nguyễn Tùng để cùng đến với câu chuyện hội nhập.
Xin cảm ơn Huệ Chi. Thưa quý vị và các bạn, những năm gần đây ngành y tế có những bước phát triển đáng ghi nhận trong việc phát huy thế mạnh của khoa học công nghệ, góp phần nâng cao chất lượng trong công tác chăm sóc và bảo vệ sức khỏe của người dân. Tuy nhiên, việc áp dụng rộng rãi các phương pháp chữa bệnh này vẫn chưa thật phổ biến. Và vì sao lại như vậy? Thông tin chi tiết hơn sẽ được đề cập trong chương trình ngày hôm nay.